Yeah.
I know.
It's just different time.
Okay. Personal life.
Maybe, yeah. This is when they're down upper, right? Upper elementary. They're not lower elementary.
Okay, guys, we're going to get started here in about a minute. So if you want to find your seats. Okay, guys, we're going to get started so we can try to stay on time tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I am Stephanie Grossman. I am the PTO president at STEM Magna Lab. We've got quite a few things on our PTO meeting agenda tonight. First up is Mrs. Calderon. She is going to talk about some upcoming opportunities of foreign exchange students. I'll turn the floor over.
So some of you participated in this last year. We are most likely going to be able to bring Chinese exchange students over again this winter. Last year we did it for the first time. We had 15 students from 5 cities in China come and stay at our 2. Their winter holiday is offset from ours because they have 2 weeks out in the Chinese New Year, so it's like the last few days of January up until around Valentine's Day. They come for 10 or 11 days. And at the November PTO meeting, I'll have more detailed information along with applications and the whole process. If your family is interested, I just wanted to make sure everybody had kind of the dates. If you are interested in doing that, that's not a good time to plan a ski trip over the weekend or I take up your February. The way it looks is they usually come in on Friday or Saturday, and we take them we're going to take them this year immediately up to like Snow Mountain Ranch or someplace to acclimate them to both the time and the culture a little bit. We're 14 hours difference from Beijing, so it's quite a bit of jet lag. And then they would come back probably on the Monday or Tuesday in class. So last year we did a whole lot of activities with them and then let them stay with families a few nights because we weren't sure how much of a burden it would be. Ended up that all the families were like, they should stay more. So instead of us taking them, thank you, we love them. So instead of us taking them all these places, the plan is this year is that they'll stay with you the evenings of the weeknights and through the weekend, and we'll offer like 3 to 5 tickets for your family and this exchange student to go do the things that we would have taken them to do, like the museum, the whatever's going on around Denver, stock show if it's still in town that first weekend. We might miss that, but anyway. So and they'll stay. I would bet on probably 8 to 10 nights in your home. And we had last year 2nd graders through 8th graders. The 2nd graders in general were the children of some of the chaperones that came with them on the flight, but not all of them. Some of them came on their own in 2nd graders. So I just wanted to get those dates out there. Again, probably like January 28th-ish through February 14th-ish in that week. So if you hosted one of those students last year, would you raise your hand? Another family. Please ask questions of them of what it was like and how it went, and if they would do it again. Okay. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we're going to have Susan step up. She is in charge of our fundraising on the PTO committee.
It's going to be super quick. Everybody should probably have one of these in at home. This is our fundraiser this year. This is the only fundraiser we look to have. It's basically just donations. Sorry, you don't have to buy anything, you don't have to sell anything. Sorry.
No, a little bit. Good.
Don't have to buy anything, don't have to sell anything, you can just donate. You can ask friends and family if you're one of those kind of people that like to get out and push for donations. We have always asked for $100 a kid for donations. That's what we would like to have. We understand that not everybody can do that. Or made that would we have this fundraiser this time? Be the only fundraiser that we have this year. On the back of this, I know several people that I have talked to have never turned it over to see that, but it tells what the PTO has done with the money that we get, what we've given to the school. Basically, last year it was $25,680 of stuff, whether that's for Chromebooks or a 3D printer, IXL, all this fun stuff. So all of this money goes directly to the kids, whether it's for a field trip to any kind of request money for. So as of June, and I don't know, there's online donations too, you can pay with a credit card on stimpto.org, correct? And we did raise $5,500, not that much, which is far less than what we would like to do. And tomorrow is the last day. We need to raise. So you can get the word out. If you guys haven't, come to me, talk to me about it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, like it. Thank you.
Now we're going to handle a couple of funding requests that we typically do at a PTO meeting. So we will invite the teachers to come up and talk about their funding requests if they're here. Carrie, do you have a funding request?
I did, but it's not over 500. Do you still want me to talk about it? Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that, but I'm good.
Good. So this year with our behavior program, we're really trying to make it universal to the whole building. And so we are using STEM gems a lot with all grade levels. And then we also are transferring those and at least in kindergarten into class dojo points. So our goal is for each kid is after they earn 15 dojo points, they get prizes. And our kids are doing an amazing job because our treasure box is getting very empty a lot sooner than it usually does. So our request for kindergarten is to be able to purchase more prizes for our kids. And we want to ask the kids this time, like what they would like in the treasure chest. So we're not just going to go and buy a bunch of bulk stuff that they're not interested in having. Because I know bookmarks and books. I'm like, take the bookmark. And they're like, I don't want that, Miss Crump. So we would, I have so many books in there and they don't want the books either. So we would rather like ask them this time and see what they would like to purchase and have them be kind of involved with it. So kindergarten asked if we could have $200 and that should keep us good for like the whole year of replenishing because both Mrs. Bradford and I are using Class Dojo this year with our STEM gems. So that's our request.
So what we'll do, since there's so many funding requests tonight, we will hear all of the funding requests and then we'll hold the vote. So the next funding request tonight is Mrs. Brabant. Would you like to come up and talk about it? I don't want to catch anybody off guard. So, okay.
Stay. I'm up there and I'm not gonna sit. But so I requested money to fund 15 Makey kits. If you Google it, it's this tiny little Arduino circuit board looking thing that you hook up to the computer, and you can hook up to other things that could conduct electricity, and you can make keys out of anything. So the reason why we use Makey in science and engineering, mostly engineering, is to extend from what the kids do. They design their own video games. So right now, 6th graders are just starting to make Broggers, and when they're done making their video game, they're going to make a video game controller using the Makey. When I introduced this unit this week, they were jumping out of their chairs because they've seen it, because the sixth grade did it last year, and they got to go in the classroom to check it out. $50, and if we define that cost, it's $711. I got a $20% educator discount, and I talked to those of us who use the money out of the middle school's engineering budget, and we're looking at maybe just requesting from PTO, hopefully they can help us out with about $300 for 15 makey-makeys, so the kids could make video game controllers. And that's not the only reason why we would use those makeys. They could use any other engineering units that come up. And when the kids learn how to use them, when they're doing a PBL or something else, they might say, we want one of those makey-makeys, and they can use that for that. So, thank you for hearing us.
Okay, the next request, I will talk on her behalf. It's from Ms. Basile. She is a fourth grade teacher here, and they are studying energy and energy use. They are requesting, let's see, how much they're requesting for. Should they put a dollar figure? We'll have to table that request. Sorry, guys. Let's see what else. We've got a couple of requests from Mrs. Fuller.
Do you want to check?
Sure, yes, thank you.
So one of the requests is that we have a lot of subscriptions, and PTO in the past has given us money for IXL and Brain Pop and Brain Pop Junior. And those things change, and the office manager and I kind of have to manage those subscriptions. So what we would do is pick two things that don't change, which is Discovery Streaming, Discovery Education, and our Pebble Go. And those are used with K-8 in our building. So I wanted to propose to, not me, but the staff wanted to propose that you take the constant things that are going to be constant every year, so that we don't have to worry about, okay, do we want IXL this year? Do we want Sunda? Do we want Prodigy? So that stuff is going to be changing. So that's one proposal. And the other proposal is, and I'm sure, hopefully your kids have been talking about it, but the Breakout EDU, we have had last year when we got the 3D printers, I ordered all of the stuff to have 3 kits. And now that we have shared them with students here, we found that it would really be nice for each grade level to have their own kit. So, because when it's there, you can, it's easier to develop. So I'm asking for $500 for more kits and blocks and different things that go with the breakout. That's it.
Okay, we've got one more. This is from the music department, and she is asking for 3 additional African drums to add to her inventory. They're $154 a piece, and she's asking for 3 of them. So does anybody have any questions about any of the items up for vote? Okay, with no further questions about it.
I didn't hear the costs that we're talking about for the things that you were.
The subscriptions cost, I'm not quite sure of, I did put it down, I don't know the total, but like Discovery Streaming is $1,700, around that, and then Pebble Go is about $700, which is actually a little less than what they've funded before.
Okay, but the other stuff, IXL, will that go away?
Well, it'll go away in January, and we've already purchased a different program to try this year.
Okay,
PTO will actually be saving money on Ms. Lawler's request.
Okay.
Because we're not funding as many things as we used to. We're funding different things, basically.
okay.
So with no further questions being asked, we'll turn it over to Ms. Crumps. Her request was for $200 for additional items or for Kids for STEM Gems. We'll hold the vote now, so all for it, raise their hand. Unanimous, approved.
Thank you.
The next one is Ms. Braban's request. And how much were you guys at 300? About 300? Okay,
Yes.
okay, so $300 for Mrs. Bragan's request. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, it's unanimous, approved. Ms. Muller's two requests. First, we'll do each at a time, so it's official. The first request will be for the $500 for the breakout boxes for each grade level. All in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, it's approved. And also for the switch of funding for the PTO from ISL to some of the other programs. All in favor? Okay, that's approved as well. We'll go on to music now. She's asking for roughly $312 for the free drums. All in favor? Okay, that's approved. And lastly, Ms. Basile's request.
We didn't have
We didn't do it. Okay, so everything's been approved. We'll make sure everybody gets their checks. Now, we're gonna go ahead and turn this over to the bond, which is why most of you guys are here tonight. And we'll turn it over to our principal.
Thanks for coming out. What a great turnout. So I really appreciate everybody being here. Taking time out of their night to hear a little bit more about the bond, in case you haven't heard about it or you haven't gotten the flyers in the mail or seen your students' backpacks with information on it, or you weren't able to attend the bond Board of Ed meeting a few weeks ago. I just want to share with you for STEM Lab, because that's really exciting what it means for us, but also what it means for the larger Adams 12 community. And just make sure that you guys have a good understanding that this impacts our entire district. Your neighborhood school, your neighborhood middle school, high school, elementary schools. And that's really important to understand, that everybody gets something out of this bond measure if it were to pass. Bond dollars are only for infrastructure. That's really important that you understand too. Think of bond for buildings, okay? Construction, infrastructure. So bond for buildings. It has nothing to do with personnel, curriculum, materials type of thing, okay? It's only infrastructure. So that's one big thing that I want you to make sure you take away as we leave tonight. So I want you to understand that the mailer that went home, what was in that, what information was in that, the community-wide and school investment plans, which some of you are holding now, it's a front to back sheet. School information on one side of it that talks about just our needs, and then as a whole community, what the bond package will give to you. And then understand our school's opportunity to invest in instructional upgrades as well. A couple weeks ago, I put out an IC Messenger and asked you to participate in a survey, and we have those survey results. Share that with you. If Terry clicks on that, I did a hyperlink. You can see the mailer. The mailer is a smaller brochure.
Sorry. It's not pulling up because it's in a different link.
Okay, it's a little.
There we go.
There it is. It's a little brochure. Hopefully you received that in the mail and took some time to look at it. It showcases some of our highlights across the district. It also showcases some of the needs, how you can get involved. It also mentioned that there was a board meeting that we encouraged people to attend, gave you some statistics. So that's a nice little snapshot. Then the other one is the community flyer, the community-wide investment plan, and then on the flip side of that is just our school-specific one, and that was also in color on the table over there. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just in presentation mode, so I have to exit each time.
Some of those things, I promise it worked when I tested it.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's basically, it's this sheet. So it's okay. Okay. One side has community investment and one is our specific school. So some success stories though of Adams 12. If you've been in our district for a while, there's some things that we really want you to recognize and know about what's going on and what's successful in our district. So our graduation rate has been up 7% since 2010. That's exciting. It doesn't seem like a big move, but that's quite a significant increase. Our Hispanic graduation rate jumped from 50.8 in 2010 to 2.8 in 2015. Huge increase there. We've also increased our ACT composite scores. These are high school, right? You take your ACT in high school. So that's continuing to increase. AP exams, which again is a high school thing, but you're going to want your students to try and take AP coursework, and pass their AP exams because it helps with college credit. So that's been an increase also in the last 6 years. 12%. The percentage of students meeting and exceeding expectations in both literacy and math on our state testing, that also continues to increase. And we're just now also starting to get some growth data from our PARC testing that we took in the spring, and preliminary results are looking really positive. We're seeing some great growth across the district as well. So there are some things to celebrate in our district. So just keep that in mind. There's lots of good stuff going on. It's really small font, but one of the big things that we need to address does not pass. There is a life cycle management with construction in our district. We have deferred our maintenance time. We sit in a building that was taken offline and then brought online when they approved the STEM program as a possible temporary place to just hold us for now. Across the district, we have continued to defer maintenance because there just hasn't been the budget for it. So there's a life cycle management when it comes to maintenance that would need to occur moving forward. We can't keep deferring maintenance. Think about your car, right? You can't just put off that oil change forever because then you have a bigger issue. We're starting to have those bigger issues. It's leading to, more costly expenses to have to repair these things. So an annual critical maintenance needs, they're projecting to be at $6.3 million and another $5 million to continue with ongoing maintenance. Every year we have to start investing at least $11.3 million annually minimum. That would be the minimum that we would have to into these deferred maintenance expenses. What does that actually mean? What could it mean? It could mean impact in staffing. Ultimately, dollars could reduce full-time employees by 167 people across the district. I go there. But we can't keep deferring maintenance costs in mind if it does not pass. Okay? All right. There is potential for boundary changes. Strong potential for boundary changes. I know we're all happy, we're in our building, K through 8, doesn't really impact you, considering for high school, so it could impact you when you think long-term for high school. Neighbors in your neighborhood school, they may have a boundary change. It is highly possible. We have Rocky Top Middle School sitting at 1,500 students. That's as big as Broomfield High.
It's crazy crowded in that hall.
Something has to change. We have Meridian, overcrowded. You buy a house across the street from Meridian, if you are in a grade where the grade is capped out because they can't take any more students, say in 3rd grade, you are having to go to Coyote Ridge. Right now, they can't keep up with the growth and the demand. It's just boundaries are gonna have to change, okay? All right, what does that impact? It impacts over 1,300 students. So there's potential for 1,300 students having to move schools. 11 elementary schools would be impacted, and we have a map to show you, it's really small. 6 of the middle schools would be impacted, 4 of the high schools would end up having boundary changes, impacting 500 students or families that live in the current existing boundary area. Maybe a new boundary area, 1,500 students. This is just a snapshot of what they're thinking. No decisions have been made about this. If it does not pass, obviously committees would have to be formed. But the current boundaries, all the different colors, are the different schools. Currently, then it would move to the one on the right. And again, I know, and hopefully everybody's happy here, it doesn't impact your life until after 8th grade. It's going to impact your neighborhood. So what are we proposing to try and scenarios happen? The bond measure has no tax rate increase. That's also really important for you to understand. Okay, it's not a tax rate increase. Okay. And how have we been able to do that? The district has paid down existing debt. Their existing debt. And they like to use the analogy of if you refinance your home and you take that savings and reinvest it back into your home, that's what we're trying to do, reinvest the money back into our district, into our buildings. So they're paying it down, refinancing basically, on cover $350 million to help with all that deferred maintenance or even new construction. Okay, our building, we're looking at new construction on our site, not relocated, but right here. There's schools looking at the Anthem area, it's K-8. So there's going to be new construction, as well as repairs, much needed repairs. Don't even get me started. Oh, you guys, a lot of you have lived our repairs, or lack thereof, or attempts to repair. All right. It includes covering the aging buildings, addressing that. Most of our buildings are over 30 years old. This building is 50-ish. Almost as old as I am. It addresses the overcrowding issue, which I just shared a little bit, what's going on at Rocky Top, what's going on at Meridian. Our enrollment obviously is expected to grow. If you've ever gone north of 144, I can't believe, or across the street from Mountain Ring, I mean, there's new growth going on all over the place. There's some schools, we're lucky we do have lots of security cameras. It's very advantageous at times. So we're one of the lucky ones. There are still schools that don't have the buzzer system. That's crazy. We need to have, or the panic button if there's a lockdown. In our office, we have a panic button. You just push it if you need to. Close all the doors, lock them. The main corridor doors. So there are some buildings that don't have some of the security, and it's much needed. Classroom needs, instructional upgrades, whether it's furniture, whether it's technology, smart boards, smart walls, smart systems. So those are some of the instructional upgrades. It's makerspace. We're pretty lucky. We have 3D printers. Awesome. We have the breakout boxes. We have lots of tech. We're blessed in that area, but I choose to invest my budget in tech. And PTO supports that every time they buy our Chromebooks. Thank you, parents, for the fundraising efforts, because we'd have almost a 1-to-1 ratio right now. Every classroom has enough computers or iPads, sorry, not iPods, those are obsolete. But we have enough for a 1-to-1 ratio. There's some schools where 300 kids share a cart. One cart. That's a shame. Okay, so that's part of the plan to address those things. And then it would also address educational opportunities. Our early childhood space, we don't have enough of it. We're just maxed out with preschool. Early childhood is our preschool space. We need more preschool space. We need more career tech education, CTE. Right now, kids are being turned away at Bowman. 25% of kids that want to go to Bowman for a program, whether it's teaching, culinary skills, auto mechanics, welding, turning them away because Bowman doesn't have the space. That's a shame, because our kids need those experiences, need that work in the field to see what those careers are really like. And then, again, technology, reliable internet access. We live in a bunker, you know. I mean, if you're a parent, you know, it's hard to get wireless in here at times, right? Where is it? Okay. So that's the plan. Ask questions, and all of these can also be found on the district website. To explore the district website, they're constantly adding new things. Big question is, but we all voted and passed the marijuana money, right? Where's all the marijuana money go?
Totally illegal.
It went up in smoke because honestly, if we just focus on the middle part, the Colorado Board of Ed recently approved $60 million of funding, okay? Districts have to apply for that funding, and you have to have matching grants for that funding. First of all, let me just let you know, it costs roughly $28 million, $30 million to build a brand new K-8. High schools, I don't even know, what's the cost of a new high school? $60 million does not go very far. So that's where the marijuana money is, $60 million. So you have to apply, it's a rigorous process to even get approved because you have to have matching funds. Have we applied for the grant? Absolutely. We had a project in 2014. We were able to replace part of the roof at STEM Wash. Got a little bit of funding. District had to cover half of that, but it's $60 million is across the state of Colorado. That's not just $60 million for Adams 12. That's $60 million for the state. Honestly, 2 schools somewhere in the state. Okay, so there's more information about marijuana money if you want to see that. When was the last time the bond was passed? Early, much earlier in my career. So it was 2000, not even that, 2004. That's the last time. And what would we do with that? Retrofitted 18 schools with air conditioning systems. There were new buildings. Silver Creek was built, Silver Hills was built, Stellar was built, the North Stadium was built. Building additions. Some buildings got additions. Most of them. School-specific improvements. District-wide improvements. Upgrade our computer and communications technology. Now I know you said, well, we just had a technology slide that the new plan go in there. It's been 12 years. You guys know. I mean, my Wi-Fi at home, I'm like, really? It's not. You having to get more, whatever it's called. Megabytes. If you're new, you'll soon realize I'm not the T and Another frequently asked question as of lately is, wow, hey, it has a great new campus up there with the 3 buildings. How did the district help with that? The district did not help with that. Okay, so district did not go to help fund Stargate. Okay.
Where did their money come from?
I'll go back to the slide. There's some, it's Colorado bond shares to get a loan to build the new campus.
It's private, yeah.
Okay,
Is that an option for us? It's because they're
I don't know.
No.
Charter only access?
It's because we're, of the education system, everything's gotta be publicly funded. Because they're a charter, they can be privately funded.
All right, so I told you I'd share some results of our survey, our priority survey based on an interest scale. So people would rank what are they most interested in? To pass the bond. What do the parents, the community, the teachers, hopefully you participated in this. What would you be interested in seeing happen at our school? And here are the results. So classroom furniture, maybe new desks, this middle of the road for us, which I would agree with. I think I probably placed it there too when I took my survey. I think we're pretty good with that stuff. This is just our school specific, okay? Oh, what about top cameras, voice enhancers? I would love that. Presentation walls, more projectors, more documents. That was a high priority item. So 86% of those voting wanted more of that or felt that that was an area of need in our building. And then security, more cameras, more card readers, etc. Again, moderate concern, but I mean, we've always, thank goodness, we've always had these type of things. And we have 20 cameras around our campus. Sometimes they're not really where we need them, but most of the time they're pretty good. A little grainy. Okay, what about in the specials areas like kilns, easels, risers that maybe don't jam all the time, audio
More than 2 of
systems
them.
that aren't your portable karaoke machine that we have. So that was a somewhat important need. It does remind me. And of course, our community really wants more makerspace, so that's not surprising at all. A green screen, more robotics, studio equipment, 3D printer. Yes, absolutely, okay. Large outdoor space, flooring, large indoor, flooring, paint, culinary furniture. Okay.
We just want new.
Large outdoor space, a marquee. Yes. But the garden, got it. We have benches outside, we have tables, we have the park area, we have outdoor classroom space. We're pretty fortunate, so that wasn't all that surprising. So overall, our 3 areas of interest: classroom technology, imagine that, and makerspace. Surprise, surprise? No. Okay. Moving forward, what I'd like to ask of you guys is, besides the grassroots efforts among your neighborhoods across the district, trying to spread the word about the bond, trying to help people understand what it means for your neighborhood school, besides that, I'm asking that we be good stewards and citizens of our general area right here, across the street on Phillips, Bowman, back here on Wyco Drive. This impacts our neighborhood tremendously. And we're part of this neighborhood. So we know traffic is a bugaboo. Easier for our neighbors, don't block their driveways, don't speed down the streets, don't make U-turns. If we can model good citizenship, they'll be a lot more supportive of what could be happening on this location that could take a year, year and a half, 2 years to complete. Construction is not going to make it very easy for the next 18 months, 24 months until it's done. We need to be mindful of those around us, that this is moving forward.
Is there any way that you guys could, that STEM could put maybe some signs up for, drivers? Because, and, people who are here, we probably all abide by everything you're saying, but I'm wondering about people who have like an uncle drop off their kid, or, a cousin or grandpa or grandma who doesn't get the email, because I've seen people do U-turns and stuff like that, right on. Is there any way you guys can post some signs or just to kind of help educate the broader extended family and friends who are participating in drop-off?
We've been working with the city of North Glen for a lot about our signs. First of all, the plethora of signs all over our area that don't mean anything or aren't meeting the requirement of even city code, let alone school code. So the city of North Glen is also trying to support any type of signage, whether it's the school safety zone signs, that as well. I don't know if any of our little, bond flyer signs. I would hope that parents are sharing, though, the pickup drop-off routine, which I just sent out again. So, because it's been crazy this year. I would hope that that goes to grandpa and grandma and anybody else who's picking up. Something we've been working on with the city of North Glen since last spring. They did a traffic study. They made some suggestions. Right now, changed our system. Needs to support what the city is also proposing that we do to change our pickup and drop off. And right now we're not there yet, but thank you for the suggestions. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
If bond passes and you guys start construction on the school, the impact to the operation of the school and the students go for however long?
We would still hold session here as normal. It would be that they would then bridge eventually the two buildings, the building together. So some construction would start off-site close to us, yet on our school property, while we're still in session. Least disruptive. We're not going to have mobiles. We're not going to be relocated. They're going to let us just assume building operations as normal to our instructional day while construction is occurring elsewhere. And then over summer, we'll make a beautiful, just simple transition.
Like a butterfly. Like a butterfly.
Well said.
Or over Christmas break, winter break.
I need clarification on the bond thing. So the district has $350 million because they paid down their debt, refinanced. Where does that $350 million go?
We don't.
It doesn't go anywhere. We don't get
We don't
approval
have it yet.
for it. We can't, we don't,
So we're asking permission
to even borrow $350 million.
So we don't necessarily have $350 million extra.
No.
So that home mortgage analogy isn't quite.
It's similar. What you're asking to do is you're asking to borrow against the equity that you have.
Okay.
It's more of a line of credit.
Okay.
Basically,
Like a
that's
home
basically
equity
what
line
it
of
is. So
credit.
what ends up happening
And
is
we're getting permission.
you ask permission to borrow more money against the equity that you have. That would be $350 million at this point, so that it does not affect tax. It does not do the tax rate increase. And this it's a very good question, because the next question is going to be, what happens if it doesn't get passed? Does that mean that my tax rate is going to go down? And that does not, because your existing loan is still there and you still have to pay on it, stay the same. So
Why do we even have to vote on this? This is
Tabor.
This is, I mean, I'm sorry.
So please, when you communicate with your communities, let them know, not reduce your taxes. It's basically like applying for a second mortgage or a new mortgage and not getting approved. Your loan doesn't go away, you still have to pay the same amount. That's what it is.
So we just want to pay as long, or we will extend the
Just extend.
term? At some point, we'll be paying.
It extends it, yes.
So,
Absolutely. Some point we'll be paying for this. I'm trying to figure out when.
any, Jen?
Reason, so as it passed, do my taxes stay the same or do they go down?
Taxes
Taxes
will stay the same.
You're still making the mortgage payment.
Nope.
Your home values have probably increased the last few years, so your taxes look like home, right? When your home values increase, yay! Don't your taxes also increase? I know they do in my house. So, high home values, but your tax rate, like your percentage, is not going up. Your tax rate is not going up.
The reason why I said it, I wanted people to understand, if you vote no, or if you don't even vote, your taxes are gonna stay the same whether you vote yes or no. So you might as well vote yes to do something more small.
Refinance the same payment and just extend the loan out 30, 40, 100 years, whatever.
Didn't they say we want to extend more?
The term of the loan, not,
The time to pay off will not change.
Change the value of the loan changes. That is correct.
the value changes, then you have to pay more to pay that down at the same amount of time.
But we have a cheaper interest rate, our interest rates are better. Right? Forward to higher home values, yes.
How fast will construction start when it passes?
Yay!
Positive attitude.
Good question. So, the cart before the horse too much. So there's been very limited work. Architects and, yeah, you're not gonna spend money hiring architects and down the road. So once it passes, then I'm sure the engineers, the yada, 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 that'll happen. So I don't anticipate anything happening till summerish.
So does that mean there's no plans as of yet about what the new school would potentially look like?
They're starting those early conversations, but again, they're not gonna go too far down the road of specifics. An architect money or even have our district spend a lot of time on that. We are starting initial, very basic conversations. We know it's gonna be whether it's new construction off this side, that side. So some of those preliminary things are going on now, but again, they're not gonna go so far down the road. Yes.
So just to clarify, are we talking about building a new school or just renovating and adding to this one?
And some renovation. So there'll be
Building a whole new STEM lab. I guess it'll
No.
be new when it's done, but
No,
not an
no.
entirely new building.
Not 100% new, but I would say probably 60%.
At addition.
A
Yeah.
huge chunk of the site will have new construction on it.
This then stay K-8 or will it then be annexed on?
Just K-8.
Are they planning on expanding it then?
We
More
could get at
students?
least 3 rounds in. So we would expand, so some of the 460 families on our wait list, yay. So we would be able to expand to at least 3 classrooms per grade level instead of 2. And that's exciting. Big opportunity for the community. If you haven't been with us long, the community, and any given year, we have to almost 500 students on our wait list since we've opened. So people want to be here. need to get here.
So,
Yes.
will there be neighborhood meetings?
Yes,
Like, okay, and how are they gonna?
you should get a mailing.
Okay.
So if you do live in the immediate neighborhood, the district will be hosting, not me, I'll be here as a wingman, but there will be a open house informational night for
Is that true
specifically-
everywhere? So if you have a community school, or that school's,
No, you would have to seek out that information. So if you live in the Rocky Top neighborhood and you want to go to their informational night, like I'm holding, that information on their website, I'm sure they have.
The district
dates
is having,
posted already?
the district is having a specific one, Kathy, because of the construction that's gonna affect neighbors.
Yes, that's why we're doing just this neighborhood, so they understand the impact. Mostly positive.
And anybody not invite people or anything like that?
At this time, that is not what they want to do. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have people canvassing the neighborhood, inviting them specifically, and,
They are gonna get a mailer.
yeah. All right. So, and if there's no other questions for me, over to Linda Hartman, who's a parent in our school, has 2 students here, and she also has the privilege and the honor of being on the CAN committee, Community Action Network Committee. My part has formally ended, and I will hand it over to her to share her piece with you guys. Some of her PowerPoint, there was a little redundancy, but I thought it's good to hear again.
Follow through the beginning
Yes.
of it and just get to the end.
Yeah.
Here. You all need to do the same thing over again. So again, my name is Hartman. I have a 7th grader and a 4th grader here. And thank you, first of all, to PTO for having dinner for all these folks. And I'm just gonna blow through the slides. So, I don't know how many of you went to the board meeting, but this is Ellen Gutierrez, and one of the reasons why we have her up here is because she's a graduate of Bowman Tech. She graduated in 2014, and she's a great example of a success story. She graduated from, she didn't even know what a wrench was when she started, okay? So she got her degree at Bowman Tech, she got up to Wyoming Technology, and she got a degree in diesel engineering 4.0. She now works in Erie, a very successful diesel engineer. So that's the kind of stuff that the bond is going to help us grow. Because there are just not enough spaces. They're busting at the seams. I don't know how many of you know about what the CTE does, but Tracy mentioned it a little bit. One example is the diesel and auto mechanic. Their emergency responder, the EMT. They have them. They were granted an ambulance by the Adams Hall Foundation to get their time in, to understand how to work in an ambulance, to drive around, to kind of get the feel for what it's going to be like to be an EMT when they get out of this program. Because the bays are so full, not only with kids, but with a couple of cars that have been donated, and they're busting the seat, they can't even get that thing covered. So we need more space. That's the kind of program that we need for our kids. So Tracy talked a lot about the deferred maintenance. 150 million of the bond approximately will go to the deferred maintenance of our 30-year-old buildings. So that kind of gives you some numbers as to what we're talking about. Outdated playgrounds. We had a sewage issue here, I believe, a couple of times. So those are the types of things that we're talking about. Overcrowding, we have mobiles. Mobiles are very hard from a security perspective to maintain. So that's a very important thing for us to get the mobiles and bring those kids in to brick and mortar buildings. So that from a security standpoint, you feel good as a parent that your kid is not sitting in a mobile and exposed to some of the security issues that can happen. We have to go through a lot of this stuff. So again, this is not a tax rate increase. Okay, so that, I can't tell you how important that is to get out when you're talking to folks. Please, please, please remind them this is not a tax increase. And it is for buildings. Again, I just want to reiterate, this is for infrastructure. This is not for teachers. This is, unfortunately, this is not for curriculum. This is for infrastructure, okay? So, the reduced state funding has kind of created this problem with not having enough for us to address deferred maintenance. So what's happened to our expenses have gone up, like you all know, with the economy, but we haven't gotten any more money. When the recession hit, they had to rework the numbers so that they can meet their budget, right? Everybody, legislature they have to balance the budget. In order to do that, public education got cut. It's kind of the way of the world. Our expenses didn't get cut, they went up. That's why we're in the situation we're in right now. We just go through that. So these are the things that Tracy talked a lot about: the overcrowding, the aging buildings, safety and security, the classroom needs, educational opportunities, and technology. We talked about the pre-K through 8 Anthem. That Meridian, I live in the Meridian district, and it's very unfortunate that some of my neighbors, what they're having to deal with in terms of, they've got 30 kids in these classes. And it's 4 to 5 rounds of 5th graders, 2nd graders, 3rd graders. It's so desperate there that, like they said, they put off Cotton Creek. I went out and visited Cotton Creek. They've got 4 mobiles that are 30 years old, probably. And I've never been in such a cramped space in my life. I just looked at the teacher and I thought, oh my God, you poor woman, trying to teach in that environment, because those kids are just elbow to elbow. It doesn't get any more comfortable than that. So they'll bring mobiles into Cotton Creek around Hill Ridge, and they'll add to that, and then purchase new land for future schools. We talk about the aging buildings.
Looks familiar. This might be the one in my classroom. Just kidding. I don't know.
The security and the safety, we're blessed with what we've got here, but lots of us don't have what we have. So, and then we talk about classroom needs, education needs, and technology needs. So the boundary changes. One thing I want to reiterate, it's not going to affect you now, but it can, because of where your kids go, but it might affect your home value. Because if you have a school right now, if you've got somebody that's in, let's say, Legacy, and that's going to get redistricted to a different school, people have moved to that home to go to Legacy High School or to go to Horizon High School. And all of a sudden they're told, oh, sorry, you can't go to that. All of a sudden you're redistricted, you've got to go somewhere else. That's important. When you're buying a house, that's one of the first things I did. What schools are my kids going to go to? So that's not just for your kids. That's kind of something that you've got to think about as a homeowner. So we talked about the money moving, losing a lot of teachers we could potentially lose. That could happen, and we don't want that to happen. And then our surrounding districts. Boulder Valley passed a $567 million bond 2 years ago when we failed. They have a substantial advantage over us when it comes to hiring, when it comes to their facilities. And we as a competitor. So we can't afford to lose that money to be shifted from the teachers to the buildings. So we need this desperately. We talked about some of the investment, we talked about some of the wins that we have here at Adams as well. So what can you do? So you're all here tonight and we appreciate it greatly. So what we need you to do is we need you to talk to your neighbors. We need you to talk to friends. We need you to be at those soccer games and talking to the other moms and dads and telling them how important this is. Telling them it's no tax increase. There are going to be people you're not going to be able to change. There are going to be people that, you'll never change no matter what. What we want from those people, tell them, don't vote no, just don't vote at all. Seriously, I know it sounds weird, but if it's not a no vote, the yes votes win. So those people that you're not going to change, just ask them to not vote at all. Tell them to skip. But the more people you talk to about this and the more people understand what this is, the more resources we are going to get. And we need to tell people to find it on the ballot because it's going to be very long for the ballot. And it's 3D, which is kind of cool for us.
I think they did that just for STEM.
So what we need you guys to do, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends. If you've moved recently, please make sure you're registered to vote at your new address.
I am, I checked.
Please make sure you're registered, make sure your friends get registered, and make sure they just vote. So that's what you can do immediately. How do you get involved? So here are ways you can get involved. I represent an organization by the name of 12 CAN, and we're a community action network, and we're a grassroots organization. We are all of you. That's who we are. We're nothing special. We are a bunch of parents and community members that really believe in this. And so I am responsible for the volunteer coordinator. I'm the volunteer coordinator for all the events coming up. Some of the big events coming up are the phone banks. We have a walk coming up. We have yard sign distribution. There are various ways for you guys to get involved. If you don't have time, but you have an extra $10, we'll take that too. That's great. So any way you can help. The website is here. And make sure you have, there's one other piece of paper that's black and white. That's got all of the information from the website. Okay, and it's Adams 12 CAN. Over the weekend, it is going to change because we did just get the 3D moniker. So it will be something to be, if you go there, it will redirect you. The Adams 12 CAN for Kids will redirect you, and it'll be something both for 3D or past 3D or something to that effect. And you can sign up there for any volunteer, any donations. We'll take what you guys can give us. We can take any help. We are looking to canvass on our walk on October 22nd, 24,000 homes. So we need everybody that we can possibly get that's willing to knock on a door. We'll have people go in pairs. It'll be from about 8 in the morning to about noon, and it's going to cover the Adams 12 district. Okay. And the phone banking, we don't have dates yet.
We do,
but Monica,
we do. October 18th, 19th, and 20th is the phone bank. So we're looking for at least 40 people for all 3 evenings. So let's talk on the phone. We really love to have you there.
And Monica's heading that up. So if you have any questions, please ask her. She's going to be managing that whole project.
And why don't you share, like what you shared with us with the staff, that if you do the phone call or you get certain people that they know you vote a certain way, so you're not like harboring, like you're not in a bad situation,
So
and also delivering the flyers.
It's going to be an auto dialer, so literally you're just going to be making, like, you don't have to, like, do have a script. Hopefully it will not last more than a minute on the phone. We'll make it as easy and as simple as possible. So, I mean, most likely some people will hang up on you or, tell you they're not interested, and that's fine. You just hang up and move on to the next call. So really it's super simple. It shouldn't be a problem. It's going to be a 2-hour event and we'll have refreshments. No alcohol, so we don't so yeah, it's going to be a very easy process. So you really love your help.
Yeah. So one thing that you guys, to give you guys information on, you mentioned a little bit, Jenny, thank you. We were working with a consulting firm, and they run campaigns. That's what they do. That's their business. They're a consulting firm for campaigns. They've done the research so that we're not talking to people that are going to hang up on you or close the door in your face. The people that we're going to call and we're going to canvass are people in the middle, right? They're not people that are definitely going to give money to kids no matter what, or people that are going to vote no for everything. They're the folks that haven't decided yet. They found them, they know who they are, they've done all of the demographics on them, and they've got all the information on them. Those are the people that we need to sway over to this yes side, okay? Because those are the ones that are going to make a difference for us. So, if you just feel like, oh, I don't want to call because people are going to hang up on me, just know that we think they're friendlies. You know, we have an idea, you're gonna get those off people. Let's not, let's not lie about that. But for the most part, it's 2 hours of talking to people about your kids and their education. So please help us. On October 1st, we're having a sign distribution, and we're trying to figure out, we think it's gonna be at Mountain Range High School, is that right? As soon as we get details, we'll be putting that up. But please, make sure you pick one of these up, go to the website, get any information you need, and talk to your friends. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight.
And I'm gonna try to make sure that all of this, the Adams Camp for Kids, all of the 3D information is put onto our PTO website and the PTO Facebook page. So if you have any trouble finding any of this information, please let us know. We'll get it for you. You know, I will especially want to answer any kind of questions in regards to the camp. Just let us know if you have any questions.
I have a question. As far as like advertising, all the places that donated food are willing to, well, the ones that I talked to are willing to put signage in there. You can't have something, there's several businesses around who are willing to put.
So we're
like,
gonna
help support us.
So we're gonna
I
do the
don't know how that would
signage on October 1st will be the signage date. So if you know somebody that's willing to put something in their window, what we're trying to do is we're trying to optimize the time people get their ballots and really kind of take advantage of when people are ready to vote, which is October 17th is when all the ballots get mailed. So October 1st will be the distribution because we don't want to do it too soon before people get their ballots. But if that happens, if you want to take those signs, they're yard signs. They're not going to be like a poster. We can potentially ask for something businesses could do, but I can't guarantee that at this point. Maybe we can just take the little sides off and just paste them in the windows. So I'll make sure you know when that distribution is on October 1st and where it is and the time so that you can pick up a few extra for those locations.
About bumper stickers, something simple like, yes, for 3D, higher.
You know what? That's a good point. We have, what are they called? Window clings.
Yeah.
And what we had decided is that anybody that donated $50 or more was going to get a window cling. Well, we ordered plenty of window clings. So if you donate $1, you're going to get a window cling. And so please go to the website, sign up, donate your $1, and get your window cling because that is something that's going to go on your cars. And those again will be out in the next couple of weeks.
I like the idea of 12 for Adams, $12.
$12.
Nice.
One other
Nice number.
One other thing I forgot to mention. McWhinney is a developer in this area. They developed something in Centera in Loveland, is that right?
That's what Orchard Town Center.
Orchard.
They started with, but we just moved from there.
Okay.
Two across the street. Yeah.
Okay, so they own land up near Highway 7 in Broomfield, and they have agreed to match donations. So they've already given us $7,000. Wow. If we can build up our donations, they're going to match donations. So that's huge. So even if it's, like I said, even if we've got 39,000 students in this district, $1 a kid, right? That, and they match it. We're talking about $80,000 additional to get this campaign, everywhere. So please, $1. Oh, yes, something.
Only 23% of the population in this area voted last year. So only 23%.
Yes.
So moving forward, lots of work to do. I'm probably hosting another meeting very, very end of September, early mid-ish October. And maybe we'll have some more information to share with you depending on how far down the road the district has gotten working with some architects. So at some point, I want to be able to share anything that they have with you. So I'll host another meeting. Please check your IC Messenger for dates. that will hold a part 2. Okay, so spread the word and invite other people. Don't have a date solid yet.
What we'll share is part 2 will be the exciting stuff. It really will be. This part is important to get you guys some knowledge about what the bond is so that you can have those conversations with your neighbors, have those conversations with your families, and hopefully sway their votes one direction in our favor, in the bond's favor. The next meeting is where they'll put some time into making it real for our community, what it's going to look like. We understand, we know you guys will be on board for this because you're here. You've choiced your kids into this building. You know that this is a wonderful place and you know that we're going to do what's best for your kids. And how nice would it be to do it in a new building? That would be wonderful. What we need is your help to go out there and communicate what this means for every child in this district, not just the students here at STEM. This affects absolutely every single building within our district. Now, a lot of the repairs that they'll be doing on those buildings are not necessarily sexy, and you're not going to be able to see that it's happening. We're talking sewer lines, we're talking crawl spaces, HVAC, roofs, things like that, but it's all of those things that'll keep our kids safe and healthy and dry. It's important.
And learning.
It's very important. And, you know, some of those numbers up there for that Plan B, that deferred maintenance piece, if the funds that they're deferring right now and letting us put into the general fund, 90% of that general fund pays for the individuals that are employed within this district. So there is absolutely no way to cut anything else. It ends up being people. And those people are the people that are in your buildings that are making things easier for your kindergarten teachers, those paras, the people that are outside watching your kids while they're playing recess. It's the people that are teaching the specials to your students. And
tech people.
It's your technology people. And it's also everybody's favorite assistant principal. I mean,